Hi and welcome to this DCP web tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to edit YouTube videos in less than 10 minutes using Adobe Premiere. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is create a folder on my desktop, and I'm going to call that folder YouTube Master Template 01. Right, so this folder becomes a master template that we'll use to edit all subsequent future videos. So we want an intro, we want some subscribe animation, we want to have an ending screen with some information, and the beginning part and the end part will always be consistent in our video content. So I want to show you how you can set up a master template and reuse that master template many times to edit video content much quicker for your YouTube channel. So let's open up this folder on my desktop that we just created, and we want to move some content in here. We need something called assets, right? So let's just look at these assets in this folder. So in this 01 folder, I've got an intro, my logo intro. I've got this overlay, which is just really my little DCP in the corner here. We can do that in Photoshop or something like that. And I've got this file called end screen. And if you look at my desktop, let's just look at that quickly. You'll notice that whenever I create a YouTube video, I have a different desktop background, right? So this one is just a little placeholder for content, yeah? So all I'm going to do is click here and just right click, copy this over to here. Just want to show you the assets that we're copying. Inside this folder, I have some After Effects animations, and I also have a intro video, like this little subscribe thing that I've created. I'll put a link in the YouTube description if you want to know how to create that. But basically we can directly import After Effects animations directly into Adobe Premiere. You don't have to do that. You can just create a little graphic saying subscribe or something like that. It will just be a little image file in here rather than an Adobe After Effects file, right? So we're just going to copy this over to here as well. Copy here. And then I've got these notes. So I'm just going to copy these notes over and explain what these are. So inside here we've got different assets, and these assets are common assets for when we create new YouTube videos. So it doesn't matter if we create 50 videos, we're going to need an intro, we're going to need some subscribe animations, we're going to need an ending screen. So we're going to need all of these elements, and these will be called our common elements, right? We'll use them throughout all future YouTube editing videos, and you can go and create a second master template maybe in 6 months and change things in it. It's entirely your choice, right? So let's look at these notes quickly, and inside these notes I've got intro with my logo, I've got some sort of subscribe animation, then I've got the main video content, and inside that video content I want to overlay on the lower third a subscribe and a like, also lower third as well, and then I have the end screen. So very simple setup. Let's just save this and close this, right? Now let's just close this folder. One thing to note, I'm doing all of this work on my desktop just for ease of access to the folder. I would suggest that you don't save this to your desktop. Save it to your My Documents or put it on a separate drive. Put it somewhere where you're not going to need to move it, right? That's my advice to put it somewhere where you're not going to move it very often, right? In fact, we could create a new folder. Let's create a new folder and call it YouTube content, right? And we could take this master folder and drag it into here. So really we've got a new folder now called YouTube content, and you can move that to your My Documents. Inside that folder we would have a master YouTube template, and then all of our other videos will sit below, right? They'll sit below this. In theory you should really name this folder 0-1, because then it will always sit at the top of your list, right? It will be better to have this master at the very top of your list of all the video content you're going to create below. So what we'll do is we'll open up Adobe Premiere, and I'm using Adobe Premiere 2021, so I'm using the current latest version, but this should work, this workflow should work perfectly fine with older versions of Adobe Premiere. I can't see any reason why this same logic wouldn't work there, right? Let's just cancel this. I'm going to go to File, New, Project. I want to create a new project, File, New Project, and I need to give it a name, so I'm going to call this Master YouTube Template -01. Right, you can give it any sensible name, and I'm going to go to Browse, and I'm going to go to this PC. Let's go to my desktop, and we've created this folder called YouTube Content, and inside here we've got the folder, the subfolder called YouTube Master Template, right? So I'm going to open this, and I'm going to save this file into here. Save it. Select this folder, right? Let's save it here. And then the rest of these settings I'm going to pretty much leave as default. I've got hardware rendering, so you really want to render off of your GPU here, right? So I'm using my graphic card here. Time codes, audio samples, we're not capturing any content, so this is all fine. I'm going to leave this as default and click OK. So we've got a blank project set up now. Let's just give Adobe a second to prepare that for us. And let's just see, let that do that. The first thing you should do is try and set up your interface similar to mine. So go to Windows, go to Workspace and click All Panels, and you should see your setup just like this. Let's go to File, save this project as. We're going to go to File, Save As, and actually we already saved it anyway, but we'll just overwrite, it doesn't matter. We've got the file here already, let's just save it and overwrite, it's fine. So what we want to do now is go to this folder and go into the subfolder. I'm just going to place it in the top corner over here, and then we can open up Adobe Premiere because we want to move some content inside there. And the first thing I want to do is go to the assets folder, and I want to move my YouTube intro, right, my little logo intro. So I'm going to grab this logo and drag and drop it onto the timeline. And now we can see this little DCP logo here. This logo has audio to it, so I'm going to click on it, right click, and I'm going to unlink it. Right? I'm going to delete this piece of audio. And in fact, let's just minimize this a second. Let's go back to the notes, and we want to make a note here that we want to add audio music, right? We need to add some sort of audio for our intro, so we should keep a note of that we want to actually do that. And let's go back into this asset. So we drag this logo onto Adobe Premiere. So this will always be a fixed asset, right? This is always going to be an asset that we use all the time. Really, we want to try and see our assets down here. So let's go to Window. Let's see. Let's find our projects and let's click Master Template here. And now we can see the content inside here, right? So when we're to see our content, so go to Windows, go to Projects and click your project here, and you see the content that you're dragging. This is the intro that we just dragged in, the little logo. This is way too slow. It's taking like 8 seconds for that logo to do its thing. So I'm going to click on here, right click and go to Speed and Duration. Let me just do that one more time. Right click on the video, Speed and Duration, and I'm going to set it to 400 times or 4 times faster. So it'll be quite a fast logo spin like this. And then I want to go back to my assets, and I'm going to drag in the subscribe call to action, this subscribe call to action here. If you want to learn how to make this subscribe call to action in After Effects, I'll put a link to that in the YouTube description. But for now, I'm just going to drag and drop it onto the timeline. This also has audio, so I'm just going to right click, unlink it, and then just select this audio and delete it. And this is also quite slow, right? So we want to speed up our intro. This subscribe is quite slow, so I'm going to click on it, right click, and go to Speed and Duration and set that to 300 and click OK. So now we've got the intro and our subscribe done, right? Now we need a placeholder for our video content. So I'm just going to go to the projects panel here, right click, go to New, and go to Color Matte here, Color Matte. And I'm just going to leave it as the default settings and click OK. And I want to make it like, you can use any color you like really, but I'm going to make it like a green color, this green option, click OK. And I'm going to call this video placeholder, right? It's a video placeholder. I'm going to click OK and then drag and drop that after this. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key and use my mouse wheel to zoom out a little bit. And really, I want to drag this out a bit, something like this. So this just represents a placeholder for our video content when we want to go and do a video edit. So we've got an intro. We've got this subscribe animation. This will be our little video. Maybe we're going to go into some location and we're filming or whatever we're doing. Our content will go here, right? It might be much longer than this, but we need a placeholder to represent the video content. Because remember, this is just our master template, and we're going to copy it many times and replace this green element. That's what we're going to do. Next thing we want to do is go back to our assets, and I'm going to drag the like, right? This should be like. Let's just change it to like. So I've got this little like animation and this subscribe animation. I'm going to drag the like one into our projects here. And I'm just waiting for it to import. So this is After Effects file. So normally in After Effects, you've got two options. You can either export from After Effects and drag and drop this in as a video clip into Adobe Premiere. But if you drag and drop the After Effects file directly into Premiere, you can actually import the After Effects file without having to export it, and you can manipulate and do loads of things with it. I'm going to click on this like composition here, like video, and click OK. And I'm going to drag and drop that onto the timeline, but above, right, above the video. So now you can see this little smash the like button animation, right, inside my content. And if we go back to the assets, we've got subscribe as well. So let's drag and drop that, and we'll do a similar thing. We'll click subscribe call out and then click OK, and we're going to import that one. These things here, if you're just starting out your YouTube channel, you don't need to do all this subscribe stuff. You can just create a little transparent PNG, maybe in something like GIMP or Photoshop, and you could just drag and drop that. So rather than drag and drop in After Effects files, it could just be a basic graphic file, right? Just some simple sort of subscribe or like the video graphic with a transparent PNG. So here you can see the subscribe one as well, and at the end we want to build our ending, right, the end sequence. Now if we were to go to the web browser and we type in YouTube end screen duration, you can see YouTube end screens can be 5 to 20 seconds duration. So I want my one to be 20 seconds. So what we'll do is let's just see, what we'll do is, there's a couple of ways to do this, right, but I think what we do is right click. Let's just see if we can get to let's just try and here we can right click here, and we're going to create a new color mat again, and this time we'll click OK, and we'll set it to like a red color. Any color is fine, blue is fine as well. Let's set it to blue, and we'll click OK, and this time we'll call this one end screen, and we'll click OK. And now we have the end screen that we're going to drag and drop onto the timeline, and this is also a placeholder that we're going to replace afterwards, but we're going to right click on it and go to speed and duration and make sure we set it to 20 seconds. It doesn't have to be 20 seconds, but I would advise, 20 seconds is a good thing to have here, 20 seconds, and click OK. And the last thing I want to do is copy these two elements and have them at the end here. So I'm going to select them, but before I do that, let's just click on this button here, V2 here, and unclick V1. And we'll select these two elements with our mouse, press Ctrl C to copy, and then press Ctrl V to paste, and it will copy these and paste them over here. You can see, right? Let's just move our timeline back here, and then we'll click video 1 and then unclick video 2 here. And let's select these options and drag them so they snap to the end screen, the beginning of this end screen here. So that's the next thing that I'll play here. One other thing that's missing, you don't have to do this, but I'm going back to my assets. I'm going to go back to the main assets in here and drag and drop this little DCP logo onto the timeline around this sort of position here, and we'll see this little DCP, but right now it's not really aligned properly, right? We want it to be in the bottom corner. So I'm going to right click on it, and I want to scale to frame size here, scale to frame size, click that, and now you'll see this little DCP in the corner towards the end of my video clip. That's what you'll see, this little DCP, and then you'll see the end screens here in the animation, right? So let's just save this. Yeah, let's just go to file, save, make sure we save our work. Okay, so basically what we've done, if I just zoom out a little bit here, I'm using the Alt key and my mouse wheel to zoom out, right? What we've done is we've created a master template. Now if you think about it, the intro is always going to be the same, the end screen or the end element is always going to be the same sort of logic, and the only thing that's really going to change in here is this element here, this green piece of content. This is like a placeholder, and really the end screen is a placeholder as well, because we want to change the background. We don't want our backgrounds at the end of our YouTube videos to always be the same, right? We've got a master template here that we can reuse loads and loads of times, and all of our elements are pre-built for us. One thing we should do is click on, let's just zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to hold down the shift key, click on this DCP logo. Let's just see what duration it is for a second. Let's just right click and go to speed duration, and it's set to 4 seconds, which is a bit long. So I'm going to set this to like 3 seconds, right? 3 seconds here, like this. And I'm just want to drag it back to snap to the timeline here. You can have it as long as you want. You don't even need to have that. I'm going to click on this DCP little logo, hold down the shift key, click on the like, click on the subscribe, and click on this end screen. I want to select these elements here and then press Ctrl and G to group them. So now when I click on them, they're grouped together, so I can drag them out and drag them back in again like this. Let's press Ctrl S to save, and we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Close All Projects. Right, so we're going to close this down, and we're going to minimize this. So if we look at this folder on our desktop, really what we have now is a main folder, and we have a subfolder inside with all of our assets, right, in here, this subfolder, and this becomes our master template. So now we can reuse this template 100 times to edit all of our content. The intro is done, the end screen is done, most of it's done. All we need to do now is edit the video content that goes in between the end and the beginning and the end. So I've got this little tutorial that I've been working on, so I'm just going to move it. Actually, we'll just copy it here, and it's called how to crop an image into a circle using GIMP 2.10. So if I go inside this folder, I've got like the tutorial elements that I created, and I always create a folder called 01, and in this 01 folder I've got 2 video clips. Now you might go outside with your phone or your camcorder, and you might go and film something on the street, and you would create a little folder and you just call it video assets or video content, and this is the content that we want to edit, right? But we don't want to create an intro, we don't want to create the ending elements, we don't want to create all the subscribes and all that stuff. We've done that in our master template. So now we can open the master template, drag these 2 video clips into it, edit it within like, you know, a couple of minutes, export it, and it'll be up on YouTube. So let's do that now. One thing I want to do before I do that is I want to go to YouTube free audio. So I'm going to type in YouTube free audio. I'm going to go to the YouTube audio library, and I want to download one audio track because we're going to use that inside our content as well. And normally the music you can have the same for every single video, or you can change it. You can do really whatever you want, right? That's entirely your choice. Let's just click play here. Find something nice that we can use. Okay, we'll just use this one here. So I'm going to click the download button here. Now the advantage of using YouTube audio library is it's all copyright free, right? There's no copyright on this. So inside this folder where I've got the 2 video clips, I'm also going to drag this audio into here. So now we've got everything we really need to go and do the video edit. So let's close this. Let's just go back to let's just go back to this master template, and I'm just going to double click on this file, this master YouTube template file. I'm going to load it up, and what I don't want to do is edit the master file. I want to save the file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and this is very important. File, Save As, and I'm going to go back a folder, and I'm going to go into how to crop an image using using GIMP, right, into a circle using GIMP. So I'm going to go into this folder and save it. Save this. Now in essence what we've done is we've taken the master file, this one, all of the assets that we've made notes of, and it's been not copied here, but it's referencing it from here. So this file here, this master YouTube file, this one here inside our GIMP edit, is referencing the content from the master file. Right? So if we change something in the master file, it's going to change inside all of our content, inside all of our edits. So we have to be a bit careful. Normally I'll replicate the master file inside here, give it a new name, and call it video 020304 if I want to change something inside my master file, right? But the idea here is that everything is pre-built for us now for this GIMP edit. So I'm going to go inside here, and I've got the 2 videos and the audio clip and the end screen. So imagine that I've just done this, right? So I've just opened up this new master file, opened it, and then gone to File, Save As, and just save it into the GIMP folder. Let's just save it there. And now I want to edit that video. So I'm going to click on the end screen. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and zoom right out. I'm going to drag this all the way back like this, hold down the Alt key, use the mouse wheel to zoom out, and drag it all the way over here somewhere. I want a long gap, and you should kind of have an understanding of how long your video content is. The longer it is, the wider this gap needs to be, right? And what we'll do is go to our 2 video clips. So these are the 2 that I want to edit. I'm going to drag and drop them onto the timeline here like this. Right, so now we've got the 2 video clips with their audio. I'm just going to select this, right click, I'm going to go to audio gain, and I just want to set the adjust the audio by 2. I want to add 2 more gain to it, and the reason why is I want to click on that one. I want my audio to peak around -6, around between 0 and -6, and click you can see it's like peaking around here. Anything over 0 is going to distort, so this should be pretty good. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to zoom right in, and we can delete this placeholder, by the way. This was just a placeholder, right? So let's click it and delete it. And really what we can do is take these 2 video clips. Let's just zoom in using the Alt key and the mouse wheel. Let's just drag over here. And we're just going to drag these to the beginning of the timeline. Let's click here, zoom right in to our video clip. Let's just bring this back again, something like this. And we're going to zoom right in here. And we want to just delete this blank. Now normally when I do my video editing or tutorial or something, I leave a bit of blank section at the beginning so I can do my cut, right? So I'm just going to drag across the timeline to about here, press C, the letter C to cut. I'm going to cut on the timeline here, then press V and then select this piece of content here and delete it, and then just drag my video back here so it snaps to the end. I'll go to transitions, dissolve, cross dissolve, and drag that onto the video clip here, right here. So when I go back and click play, hi and welcome to this DCP. Hi and welcome. You'll get this nice fade at the beginning, and we need some audio in here, so we'll do that in a moment. Let's just zoom out. I'm going to move across the timeline to the second video clip, which is over here. I'm going to click here so we can zoom in on this. And we just want to edit the content here, so I'm going to press C to cut. I'm going to cut it here and cut it right here. Press V to select it, delete, select this, delete, join these together. Let's just click here and listen to it. Okay, so we need to, that's done. Let's zoom out, zoom right out. We'll drag this towards the end. I'm going to click here, zoom in, and I'm going to press C to cut, click here, press this, select this and delete it. Use the delete key, drag this end screen so it snaps right to the end here, like this, right? And we just want to sort out this end screen. So we want it to be 20 seconds duration, right? And we want a different end screen. So if you look at the video content, you can see this crowd of people and this light thing in the background. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to make sure it snaps to the end here of the video clip right here. I'm going to click on it and then press Control Shift and G to ungroup. Now I'm going to click this end screen and delete it. It was a placeholder, remember? It was just this blue color. So I'm going to click on it and delete it. I'm going to go back to my assets, and let's just move this to the top. And I just want to grab this background and drag and drop it onto the timeline. I'm going to drag it all the way over here. Right click, go to speed and duration and set that to 20 seconds. Let's set it to 20, just like previously with our placeholder it was 20. This will be 20 as well. And then I'm going to go to cross dissolve and drag and drop that here so that it will cross dissolve as well on the next DCP web tutorial. Right, and then you've got this nice little cross dissolve. This little DCP thing here, what we do is add a cross dissolve on that as well at the beginning. And I look forward to seeing you on the next DCP web tutorial. Alright, and then we can zoom in a little bit here. So we've got a cross dissolve at the beginning, so the logo fades in the corner here. And we can cross dissolve here as well at the top. Let's just click play. And in fact, we'll get rid of that cross dissolve. I don't want that there. I don't mind it just switching like this. It's fine. Let's save this. Press Control S to save. Remember, you're not saving over the master file. You're saving into this project file, right? It's just called master file because you copied it, but it's really a copy of that master file. So anything you edit in here, your original master file stays the same. This is just using as a template. So imagine that we've managed to do the whole video editing. Everything is done here now. All we need to do is add audio, some sort of intro music. So let's just zoom into the beginning. We'll zoom right into the beginning, and we'll go back to the folder and drag and drop this audio clip onto the timeline here. And let's just click play. Hi, welcome to this DCP web tutorial. And what I'll do is I'll just drag across to about this position here. I'm going to click on the audio and press C to cut it and cut it here. and then press V to select this back part and delete it. So this will be my little audio intro. I just want it to fade, right? So I'm going to go to minimize this folder. Let's go to audio transitions, and we'll do crossfade, and then we want exponential fade. Drag and drop that onto the audio clip here, and we'll just grab this handle. Let's just grab the handle here and drag it out. Hi, welcome to this DCP Word tutorial. In today's tutorial, right, we might fade that out a bit longer. Hi, welcome to this DCP Word tutorial. In today's tutorial, that's it. And if you want the audio to last a bit longer, you can just grab this handle and drag it out a bit more, and then drag the fade at a longer duration as well. Just need to be a bit careful here. Just drag it like this. Hi, welcome to this DCP Word tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crop an image into a circle using GIMP 2.10. That's it, it's done. So what we do is click on this audio clip. Let's press Ctrl C to copy it. Let's zoom right out, and we'll go to the end screen, click here, and then press Ctrl V to paste. In fact, we need to, let's see, we need to untick this one and make sure, you know, we're only pasting onto this second layer down here. Press Ctrl V to paste, and it will paste it down here. In theory, we could just really drag this underneath here, this video. We could drag it here. This will probably be a better position for it. And then we can drag out this audio clip to snap and match the duration of our still image above. And I look forward to seeing you on the next DCP Word tutorial. Okay, so I know that took a little bit of time to explain, right? Obviously this is not a 10-minute video in terms of me explaining everything, but when I go and edit video content now, so let's just save this. Imagine we've got a master file which contains our intro. One other thing that we need to do actually is at the beginning here, if we just zoom in here, we've got this subscribe animation here, then we've also got this like and subscribe here. Really, I would select these and drag them across the timeline to somewhere else. I don't want them to be at the beginning. The whole point of these two little elements here is to try and get people to subscribe to your channel. So drag them across into you can put it in a random place, but just make sure wherever it shows, it doesn't overlay something that you're trying to explain, right, at a certain point in time. So just double check where you're placing it, that you're not like demonstrating something in the bottom here or over here, and your subscribe thing is overlaying on top of that. It won't be very good, right? So the idea here is to have a master template. We save that into a new folder where we're going to do our video editing, and really the only thing we've got to do is move these two elements, change the background. The audio is already done for us, so in theory we could take that audio and put it into our master template, right? So we could have had that audio in the master template, but if you want different audio in different video content, then you need to just cut and edit your audio accordingly. And really we delete the placeholder for the video, drag in our new video, do our little cuts and edits, and we just need to put our fades right at the beginning and the end. I'm pretty sure I put one at the beginning. Let's just double check. Let's just double check that. We've got a crossfade here, right? Hi, welcome to this DCP Word tutorial. And that's it. And then we've got a crossfade right at the end. We should have one right at the end. Right here. Here's the other crossfade tutorial. And we're done. So if it was me now editing this and I didn't have to try and explain it all, I could do this a lot quicker, right? Put it that way, it'll be much quicker. All I've got to do is drag in two video clips, chop and cut them, put in my background, put in my little audio clip, move these two things here. Then all I'll do is save it, go to File, Export Media, and then I'll just save my video clip, queue it up or export it. If I queue it, then I might put it into Adobe Media Encoder, or I can just export it straight from here, drag and drop it into YouTube, upload it, job done. Right? So just a quick summary about what we've done today. Let's just save this. Let me just try and explain it just in case it's not clear. Let's just close down Adobe Premiere. And let's just open up this folder here on my desktop. Let me just open it one more time. Let's see. Okay. So basically, we've got this one folder on my desktop, right? Let's just go to here. And I've got the same folder open twice here. We've got this master file where we created our master edit. And this one we never change. We don't drag and drop, we don't edit on it. All we do is open this one up in Adobe Premiere, and then we go to our new video content. We could have 50 different pieces of content here, right, for 50 different video tutorials. I've done over 600 on YouTube, and a lot of them I've used this technique to speed up my workflow. So once I've got my raw content, this is like the raw video, I will go and open up this master file in Adobe Premiere. Then I'll go to File, Save As, and I'll save it into this folder here, right? And what's happening here is this file here is referencing all of the assets from this master file. So I don't have to keep creating new assets and new subscribe animations, and that all of that stuff sits in this master file. It doesn't sit in this new edit file, right? So this file here is referencing the assets and the subscribe and all of the good stuff that we created in the master file. But we save it as a new file into here. The reason why we're saving it is we don't want to overwrite our template. This is like a template for us, right? And we save it here, and then we just drag our 2 video clips or 10 video clips or 5 video clips on all the different things, and we drag and drop that into the master template and delete our placeholders, edit our content quickly, put some audio in there, save it, export it, upload it to YouTube. So in this technique I can edit video content without explaining it as I'm speaking. I can probably edit in no less than 3 or 4 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer if I've done a big sort of Blender video tutorial. Sometimes they can be like 1.5 hours long, but even an hour and a half video, normally it take me no more than 10, maximum 15 minutes to edit. Most of the times I can do most edits within 5 minutes or less, right? 5 minutes or less. And the speed that we edit content and how quickly we can do things determines how much content we can push out to YouTube and get more subscribers and build more content. So we have to be quite efficient in terms of how we're spending our time. If you're spending 12 hours editing your video content, then hopefully it's the most amazing video. It's going to get you a lot of likes and a lot of subscribers, and you're going to do very, very well. But if you're editing 12 hours and you're uploading it to YouTube and it's generating very few subscribers and very few likes, then you've got to think about how can I speed up my workflow to make it much, much quicker for me to edit my content. So it doesn't matter if it's screen capture video. So a lot of my content is my desktop screen. Right, so welcome to this DCP word tutorial. The content I create is just a screen capture of my desktop, and I'm explaining things. So it doesn't matter if your content is filmed on your phone, filmed on a camcorder, or it's desktop screen captured content. Any type of video content, you can use this workflow to edit your content much quicker. Think about it: your intro, your information at the beginning, and your end screens and your end content is always going to be the same. You don't need to change that very often. Maybe once every 6 months you might make a new intro, or you might change your end screen logic, right? But 99% of the rest of the content is always going to be the same. It's just going to be the same. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to close this down. If you've got any problems with that, or if you have any questions, feel free to write a comment in the YouTube commenting, or if you're seeing this on Facebook, then write in some sort of comment somewhere, and I'll try and help you and guide you how to set this up if you've got any problems with it. But just try and understand this video and try and understand the workflow, and it will speed up your video editing capabilities. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up like button if you like this video. Don't forget to comment and tell me what you liked about this content, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the end of this tutorial. I hope you find it useful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next DCP web tutorial.